We go. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and joining me and giving me your time to hear and learn about the 3 keys to unlocking the secrets to healthy aging. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you all know that this is an area of confidentiality. I want anyone that's here on this call to realize, oh, Toronto, Canada, woo-woo, Elisa's from Toronto, Canada. Thank you for sharing that. I want everybody to feel comfortable sharing in this space, that we're a safe space for open sharing, because we're all going to respect the confidentiality of each other's information that we're sharing. So if you agree with that, just pop a yes in the chat so that we know we can all share that. It looks like everybody's familiar with Zoom. Sometimes at this point, I talk about Zoom tips. The chat is on the bottom if you have questions, and I'll be sharing my screen. So let me open up my screen to share. Bear with me 1 second. And I'll get that started. And then I just got to put it on here. And I'm going to move the little share button goo guy so I can see what we're looking at. Okay, I'm going to put that down here. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to the 3 keys to unlock the secrets of healthy aging. First, I want to explain that this information in this live stream is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice or a diagnosis or treatment. And all content is in text and graphics and image and information is generally for general information. And I am an occupational therapist, but I do not treat or diagnose or claim to cure any health issues. So that's the first thing. So I'm curious, what is the #1 reason that you decided to attend this live stream? If you can pop that in the chat, that would be great. I'm going to stop my share real quick and I can see. I'm just curious. So I want to make sure I can address the one main reason that you came here. So if there is one thing, like if you want to feel healthier, if you just want some knowledge, if you're particularly struggling with some health issues, if you're finding that you're feeling older than your age, if you can pop that in the chat, that would be helpful. And if you're driving or you don't have the ability to do that, that's okay. What other question I would have for you is, what scares you most about aging? Is it losing your looks, losing your marbles, losing your independence, or all of the above? Most people that attend my webinars will say all of the above. They want to still look young and youthful. They want to stay independent, and they don't want to lose their memory. Dementia and Alzheimer's is on the rise, and that's kind of scary stuff because there's a lot of reasons we don't want that to happen. You want to become healthier. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, once we reach midlife and start aging, things really start to change in our bodies, and we really have to start being more intentional on what we're doing about our health. So I want to encourage you to stick around to the very end of the webinar, because I have a powerful Rocking Aging checklist that I will give you as a gift for attending today. And I'll put that in the chat. And if you can copy and paste it and download the little PDF, it's a wonderful thing. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so aging is not lost youth, but it's a new stage of opportunity and strength. And I absolutely love this quote because of my story. And I am so grateful every morning I get to wake up feeling incredibly healthy and energized and empowered and ready to seize the day. I live on a beautiful crystal clear lake surrounded by mountains in the beautiful state of Maine. But that was not always the case for me. Years ago, working as an occupational therapist in a skilled nursing facility, I was exposed to tuberculosis. And the treatment for tuberculosis was antibiotics for a year. If you've taken antibiotics at any point in your life, pop a yes in the chat. If you have a pen and paper, maybe count down how many times you've been prescribed antibiotics throughout your life. Because being on antibiotics completely rapidly aged my body. I went from being age 30, living in a body of a 50-year-old. Menopausal symptoms, hormonal imbalances, mood swings, weight gain, pre-diabetes, blood sugar swings. Woo, woo, I was pre-diabetic, osteoarthritis. I couldn't make a fist. chronic fatigue. I was always tired despite sleeping a good number of times during the night, hours in the night. Rapidly deteriorating bone density, which actually led me to osteoporosis. And this was all affecting my relationships with my family. I left off infertility in my list. I've got to add that on there because it also propelled me into infertility, where I had to finally adopt 2 kids to become a mom. But that's a story for another day. But it bothers me to this day that I was always too exhausted. And when my kids got a little bit older, I wouldn't put them to bed at night. I told them that they were big enough to put themselves to bed. And I really, really regret not having that time with them now that they're in their 20s. I really regret losing that time. And it was because I was exhausted. I ate well, I was active, but I still had to take a nap every single afternoon to get through my day with the kids. I also had constipation, and I was told by my physician to take supplements to help me. I would buy supplements. They would make me feel sick to my stomach, or they would cause my constipation. So I would throw them out after they expired. Unfortunately, I developed osteoporosis, and I had 2 different falls where I broke the same leg twice. I broke my leg into 10 pieces, and I have 11 screws, 2 plates, and a 14-inch rod in my leg. And back then, when I recovered, I was now limping and was in pain, in addition to all my other health struggles I was having. I was miserable. I was embarrassed. My kids made fun of me. And when we took a vacation in New York City, because I was limping, they're like, "Oh, you're always limping." And I was like, "I'm lucky I'm walking." But it was embarrassing, and I was frustrated, and I couldn't even dance. And if you know me well, I'm a rock and roller. I love to dance. It was really frustrating. Skiing was out of the question. Walking the dog was out of the question. And I knew something had to change. And I knew there had to be a better way. So I was looking for an answer. And that was when I discovered the importance of gut health. They didn't teach me that in occupational therapy school. They taught me pretty much everything else, and how important nurturing your gut microbiome is. It's really the garden of life. And with consistent small steps taken every day over time, I rebalanced my gut from that year of antibiotic use, and my rest of my health issues improved dramatically. Within about 7 months, I realized I could get off my opioid medications for my pain, because my pain and inflammation had dissipated and was improved so much. I could make a fist again. I could hold a dinner plate without my hands hurting. My blood sugar was balanced. I didn't have those crazy swings anymore. I slept so deeply, and I sleep deeply still, because I would wake up rested and feel energized. I also lost another bonus 14 pounds, and I've kept it off over the years, which is great. I'm 64 years old, and I feel better now than I did in my 30s. And I'm just so grateful that I can truly enjoy and cherish the fresh, beautiful pine-scented air of Maine, and go skiing again, walk my dog, go with my husband golfing, and I can rock the dance floor with the best of them. And I love it. I love it. And I would like to invite you to think back to a time when you had that kind of energy and vitality and love of what you're doing. Could be walking on the beach, enjoying dinner out with your spouse, playing with kids, playing with your grandkids. And think about the time when you had that joy and feeling that you just are glowing. And if you're inclined, put in the chat where your happy place is. Like where would somewhere you want to keep your independence? Yes, Elisa, thank you for sharing that. And if throw in a chat, like someplace that's your happy place, like where do you want to strive to spend more time, going to the pool or going hiking, skiing. But, oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Emily Cambria, and I absolutely am so grateful that you are all here with me today. I am committed to helping as many women as I can to feel incredibly healthy and energized, to live a fulfilling life doing the things that you love. As a wellness occupational therapist, combined with my personal health journey, I empower women who struggle with premature aging and health issues to restore balance from within their bodies, to transform themselves into feeling incredibly healthy. Because when you feel incredibly healthy, you feel more confident, you feel more motivated, you feel more happy and satisfied, which will help you lead a happier life to be doing the things you love and spending time with your family and friends and new experiences. And this is what happened to me. It really changed my relationships with my family. They noticed the difference. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Living long and living strong is my new motto this year. I really want everyone to feel the same way I do. It's just been it's incredible. We don't realize how sick we feel until we realize how well we can feel. So, discovering new possibilities in aging. This is my dear friend Stacy. Now, Stacy, I worked with her and she wanted to change her lifestyle. At the time she reached out to me, she was recently retired. And she was finding she was always tired and didn't sleep well. She complained that she was heavy around her middle. She made horrible food choices. She was not exercising, and she had terrible brain fog. She was feeling so much older than her age. And so we worked together. I worked with Stacy, and she is now a healthier person, as you can see in her picture. She is both, her words are that she's healthier in her person, mind, body, and spirit. She feels incredibly youthful and vibrant, so much so that she actually went ziplining with her son to celebrate his birthday, which I'm kind of afraid of doing that. So I'm really impressed that she was able to do that. And if this resonates with you, stay to the end of the presentation, because I'll share with you how you can get some more support from me and get results like Stacy. So let's get to work on the 3 keys. So the 3 keys to healthy aging, one is gut health. From good guts to great years, it's a key to age gracefully. Cleaning up your act with autophagy. If you've never heard of autophagy, you'll learn about that today. It's the secret to aging like fine wine. And I think my thing is blocking the last one. And the last one is growing old with the gang. Why community is the ultimate anti-aging tonic. And remember, stick around to the end because you'll get a copy of my Rocking Aging Healthy Habits checklist. So let's get going. Let's learn all these things and get rocking our own aging. So why do we start to feel older than our age? Let's just kind of look at this for a little while. Why do we start feeling older than our age? Whoops, I got to stop my share here. Got to come back to you. I like to see people's faces. There we go. So we all know hormonal changes happen. Menopause, physical and emotional symptoms are caused by the changes in our hormones, the hot flashes, so we're not sleeping well, so we get the fatigue, the mood swings. It's frustrating. And additional vaginal dryness, which changes our relationships. Hormonal changes our actual functions within our body. We start losing our bone mass, our muscle mass. Changes in our hair, skin, and nails happens, and weight gain and weight management is hard and more challenging. We're also more susceptible to chronic health chronic health conditions like heart disease, the #1 killer for women in America. Diabetes type 2 is running rampant in our nation. Arthritis, osteoporosis, and lifestyle factors. What's happened in midlife, all the bad habits that we may have had when we were young that didn't hurt us when we were young, it kind of accumulates, it gets compounded, and now we have to start paying that debt of poor diet, poor, no exercise, smoking, perhaps excessive alcohol use, things like that. And of course, not last but not least is the life transitions that happen to us in midlife and beyond, children leaving our nest and leaving home, caring for aging parents on top of that, changing our careers, possibly downsizing, getting ready for retirement, adjusting to retirement if you're not used to having your husband home all the time, or you as well. Adding the stress and emotion of that can lead us to feeling of overwhelmed, which again can compound and affect our general health. So is there any that I missed here that I listed that are currently affecting you? Feel free to share those in the chat. I had one friend that I left off as a death of your spouse. That's a huge life change that affected her. And okay, let me share my screen again so we can keep learning. All right, so it's really super important, and I want everybody to savor every moment of our journey. And it's so important to have in our lives I don't know why that's showing. Oh, okay. So important to be able to feel our best so that we can do all these things, because as we all know, our health is our wealth. I want you to look and feel young again, because when you look and feel young again, you have more, it has a positive influence on our life, not only in our relationships, but just about how we feel about ourselves. And you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're a, women are the backbones of their families and community, and we don't have anything to pour from because our health is poor, then you've got to start putting yourself first and your needs first. You don't want to develop a chronic illness, which is another reason to really start putting your health and what you're doing intentionally first. And you want to not become a burden to your children when you age. And we've always been doing things for everybody else. So now it's time to do ours for ourselves. So let's get to the 3 keys and talk about them deeply. Let me move. So number 1, the key is gut health is key. From good guts to great years. It is a key for aging gracefully. There are so many studies out there that talk about why. The gut is home to trillions of bacteria called the microbiome that plays a crucial role in our digestion, our nutrition absorption, our immune function. 80% of our immune system is built, our immune support is built in our guts. 90% of our happy hormone, serotonin, is in our guts. It also controls a healthy weight. It prevents chronic disease if you're nurturing your gut microbiome. I want you to think of your gut as a garden. Your garden thrives when you tend to it and take care of it. It's the same thing with the ecosystem, the microbiome in our guts. So if you weed your gut and seed your gut and feed your gut like a garden, it'll grow and flourish and thrive, and you'll have really good health results, which I found out the hard way because I was sick for years with a bad gut. And when I got it straightened out, it's changed my life. It's another thing to understand about the gut. There's the thing called the vagus nerve, which is not in this picture in the slide. This is the gastro portion of the slide, the digestive system. But there is a vagus nerve that runs from your gut to your brain. It's the longest nerve in your body, and it's also called the gut-brain axis. It's a biodirectional communication system that involves the complex things that are going on in your body system unconsciously, like your heart beating, your blood sugar balance. All that is being communicated from your gut microbiome and vagus nerve all the way up to your brain. And it plays a crucial role in regulating these systems, our physiological systems and our cognitive functions as well. So if your gut is unhealthy, it can lead to a host of issues, including inflammation, digestive problems, and a weakened immune system, and even anxiety. And as you know, when you get that feeling and you feel it in your gut, or you get that red light, that's your vagus nerve and your microbiome all working together to help protect your body and to make sure that you're doing the right things to keep the place you'll live your entire life is your body safe. But let's look at what causes our imbalances. Oops, I got to move this little thing. So antibiotics, which we know if you've ever taken a round or any, that does disrupt it. You don't have to take it for a year to have it get disrupted. Poor diet. Our food supply is very weakened. A diet and high sugar. They hide sugar in our foods under 57 different names. And low fiber as well can cause an imbalance. Toxins from the packaging of our foods and environment leach into our bodies and can cause an imbalance. Our electric devices, we're all on our phones, we're all on our computers more. It's a tech world we live in. The blue light and the amount of time we spend on it, studies show that it does cause an imbalance in your gut microbiome. Lifestyle choices, lack of exercise and alcohol all affect it. I already mentioned weakened food supply. Medications, that can change your gut microbiome. Stress and anxiety, it's a whole thing about the neural loop. The neural loop is when you are stressed out, you produce the hormone cortisol, and the cortisol kills the bad gut bacteria. So therefore, you're not making enough serotonin, the happy hormone. And it's kind of like this cycle that keeps going, and you can't figure out, why am I always feeling so anxious? Because you're kind of in this cycle of imbalance. What's really super important too is I'll give you a quick tip on electronic devices. I'm also certified in digital wellness. Do not look at your phone in bed. 95% of the adults now and kids are laying in bed at night looking at their phones before going to bed. Bad, 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 for a lot of reasons. I want you to try to put your phone away for at least 45 minutes. Start out small, try to cut back to 30 minutes and go to 45 minutes before going to bed. And also when you wake up in the morning, be sure to not look at your phone right away. A lot of us use it as an alarm clock, but if you do, give yourself 30 minutes before you look at it. Read a book, prayer, write in your journal, maybe go sit outside if you live in a nice place. Give yourself 30 minutes. This way, your brain has a way to function better. Looking at your device right away sets you up for a day of distractibility. So that's a little pointer on the side here. So, okay. So let me get on track here. I got off track. Give me 1 second, right? We talked about that. So, our serotonin slide. So what can we do to help rebalance our guts, right? So we want to reclaim our vitality and joy, especially with that 95% of our serotonin being produced there. We want to keep it thriving. Who doesn't want to have a natural help of staying happy? So probiotics, you can eat kimchi, kombucha, miso, and certain types of yogurt, but you can't eat enough of it to replace it. So it's a really good idea to have prebiotics to your diet, which is a fibrous benefit. It feeds your probiotics. So examples would be asparagus, garlic, onions. And if you don't want to be eating asparagus, garlic, and onions every day, you can add supplements to your routine. You can do a pre and probiotic. And I have a brand that I'm very passionate about. And if you're interested in learning about what I use and found so successful, I'm happy to share that with you. You just have to ask. So I just want to go over one other thing regarding the longest nerve in your body, the gut-brain connection. Here's another tip for you. This is something you can do right away after the end of our session today, and it's called vagus nerve activation. And the reason vagus nerve activation can help your gut microbiome and the gut-brain axis is when you keep it stimulated and activated, studies show that it gives you positive results for your overall health. So there's things you can do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and monthly basis. But I've given you just some tips on a daily basis of what you can do. So deep breathing. You want to do the diaphragmatic breathing, where you breathe in from your diaphragm. It's not making your chest go in. It's not moving your stomach in and wait a second, I'm going backwards. You want to feel your diaphragm moving your stomach in and out, not your chest. And you want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I give lessons on this a lot on my Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see me talk about that a lot in regards to sleep. A cold shower. If you know, when you hit a cold shower, or hit cold water, you lose your breath, you go, because you're trying to catch your breath. That's your body activating your vagus nerve. And when you learn, the more you do a cold shower, the more you learn to relax and control your breathing. And that's activating it and keeping you in control of what's happening. And that's very beneficial to the gut-brain axis. Gargling is another one. If you gargle every day, that also helps keep your vagus nerve activated. Humming is another one. This is one I use a lot for people who are struggling with phone addiction, because the average person looks at their phone every 4 minutes. Instead of looking at your phone, start humming. You can do that kind of anywhere, because you can't gargle anywhere. Start doing deep breathing. People will look at you weird, but people won't look at you weird if you start humming, and it'll break that desire to look at your phone, because you're controlling the central nervous system, what's happening, not the phone, because the phone has a neural loop built into it that makes us addicted to it, because when you look at it, it releases dopamine in your body, which is another feel-good hormone. Other things that release dopamine is the smell of chocolate chip cookies and sex. So they were smart when they created these devices to have that dopamine release in our neural loop built into the systems. That's why it's a real problem. But you can break that cycle simply by humming. And of course, sunlight is really beneficial, not only for your vagus nerve, but for getting free vitamin D, which is super important for women because of our bone. We need vitamin D for our bones. So the benefits of gut health: when you get your gut balance, what can you expect? Well, You can expect improved moods, enhanced resilience to stress. That was one thing. Whoops, I went the wrong way. That's one thing that really, really helped me. My kids noticed a huge difference in me. I was more grounded and I could handle all the craziness of raising two kids only 14 months apart. You get clearer skin, reduce seasonal allergies. I've got clients that have amazed at how much that's helped them. You lower your risk of disease. You improve your cognitive function, improve the absorption of nutrients. That is key to living and keeping your immune system strong. Does support your stronger immune system. You increase your energy, you reduce your inflammation and pain, which is another one that was key for me. Then you have less anxiety and depression because you're making the right amount of serotonin. And it's also been shown to show that there's less food allergies, which is super important, especially in kids today. I've got a lot of moms that have had great help getting their kids' food allergies under control using a good gut health program. So I'm going to unshare my screen one more time. Let me bring this up. Where is it? There it is. Let me stop my share. Okay. Oh, nice, Angel. Thank you. I didn't know you jumped on. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you being here. I am recording it, so you'll be able to watch the recording. I worked with Ginger, and Ginger is a wonderful lady who was struggling with being pre-diabetic. And she was really frightened about becoming a type 2 diabetic. That was something she did not want to have happen. She had gained weight. She was always tired. And after work, she reached out to me. And after working with me, she successfully lowered her A1C. She lost 22 pounds and she has fantastic energy and she looks fantastic. And one of her goals was to be able to water ski every year with her two sons, because her sons love to water ski. And I look forward to her picture. They always post a picture of the three of them being towed behind the ski boat, all on one ski. And this year they all had one leg up, and it's just such a beautiful thing for me to see that I was able to help her reach her goals. And that's a key factor when I work with my clients, is I really find out what their needs are, what really lights them up, why do they want to be healthy, and we really focus on that to help them get the results that they want. Because when we know that and understand my clients that well, I can really give them personalized service that really resonates with them. And it's more powerful to know and understand someone's purpose. I have had the honor of supporting hundreds of clients and women, particularly to rebalance their gut and to empower their lives. Let's share my screen again. Where's the little share button? There it is. Okay, so we're on to the key number 2. So key number 2 is clean up your act with autophagy. It's the secret to aging like fine wine. And I say this is because what happens with autophagy, and I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, put it in the chat if this is the first time you have. It is a natural process in our bodies that will helps our cells take the bad cells out and make room to regenerate newer, healthier cells. And as we age, this actually decreases in our body. It normally happens automatically, but as we age, again, like we talked about earlier, you lose muscle mass, you lose bone density, we lose this capability of this natural autophagy process. And it plays an important role in maintaining our cellular health. And it also plays an important role in preventing the onset of age-related diseases. The reason being is that when we get these accumulations of these sort of damaged cells, studies are showing that that's what's kind of causing the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and even cancer is linked to this buildup of unhealthy cells. It is when autophagy is happening in our bodies, it's a promoter of metabolic balance. And as we age, we all know our metabolism slows down, making it difficult to gain weight. Making it difficult to lose weight. Weight management becomes a challenge. So resetting and increasing your metabolism to help us burn off calories more helps you lose weight and maintain our weight, and it'll increase your energy. And autophagy does that when your body's in that. But again, as we get older, that natural ability of that happening stops. How do you promote autophagy, right? What do you do? Well, there's several ways that you can promote that in your body to to have healthy aging. One is calorie restriction. Recent studies have shown that when you restrict your calories, it can actually increase your lifespan and improve your cognitive function. And that was shown in a study in rodents. They haven't done it yet in humans. Intermittent fasting, that's kind of been a craze for the past couple of years. It's been linked to improve insulin sensitivity, it reduces inflammation, and it improves metabolic health. My favorite is nutritional interventions. You can do intermittent fasting with a nutritionally supported fast. So you're not having these big gaps of not eating anything or having these big time limits where and you know what to eat and your body is still nourished with the right amount of protein and electrolytes, so it's not as difficult to put your body into autophagy. And with a nutritionally supported fast, you can actually be put in autophagy for a shorter period of time, getting you faster results versus if you're just doing the intermittent fasting. And they sort of go hand in hand, and I've been working with this with a lot of my clients and they've had some great results. Another way to get your body into autophagy is physical activity and exercise. And then there's also some paralogical resources out there that I am not super resourced on, but they're there. So the benefits of when you do go into autophagy is it improves your overall health. Boom, who doesn't want that as we're aging? So it increases your metabolism, so it helps you with your weight management. It improves your energy levels. Who doesn't need that as we get older? It reduces your risk of chronic disease. Bingo! Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's, cancer. Who doesn't want to reduce our risk of getting that? Me, please. And it improves your cognitive function, reducing the accumulations of toxic proteins associated with Alzheimer's. My mom had Alzheimer's and dementia, and it was not a fun thing to see my mom have. She didn't know who I was at the end of her life. And I worked on an Alzheimer's unit as well, so I know firsthand how much of a loss it is, even though the person is still living. And so I'm really strong for my own personal health. I don't want to have Alzheimer's. I'm working really hard on, I go put my body into autophagy on a regular basis, and I'm happy to share any questions you have on that. I have saved my clients time and energy, and I've saved my clients money by empowering them to implement these simple strategies so that they can look and feel incredibly healthy and energized so that they can continue to do the things that they love. So we have one more key to learn about. Let me turn my page here. I'm just curious if you could put a 1 in the chat if this is the first time you've ever heard about autophagy and its benefits. And put a 2 if you're finding what I'm saying helpful. Thank you, Nice Angel, a 1. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not talked about. That's why it's a secret, but I don't want it to leave it a secret anymore. So yes. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. We're on the finish. Whoops, I almost hit the wrong button. I'm on the finish line here. Okay. Share. Beep. Okay. All right. The key. Number 3, key community. Community is key. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let me go back. Bonk. Okay, growing old with the gang. Why is community the ultimate anti-aging tonic? And the reason I put this on our list is because when I think they surveyed about 1,000 centurions who had lived to over 100. And their question was, what is your secret to growing this old? And all of them said their community. If they didn't have the support of a community and the love of their family, that they wouldn't have been able to live this long. And I just think that is so true. And so why is that? So let's take a look at why that is. There's a lot of really key reasons why. So, that's not wrong slide. Anyways, my reasons are life transitions, declining health, losing loved ones, reducing, as we get older, our mobility can be reduced, can lead to isolation and loneliness. Well, that is not good. I'm a firm believer of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you have the after your physical needs are met, like housing, shelter and food, the next one is a sense of belonging. You really need that community. Social connections and support systems are essential to our physical and mental well-being. Being part of a community helps us feel, gives us a sense of belonging and purpose to our lives, which as our roles as we get older change, that's super important. I know as a recent empty nester, I really miss having my kids to love on. And this is why I love my career and what I do, is that I love on other people and keep sharing the love. And that's important for whether you're doing work like I do, or if you're just simply wanting to stay home and be a part of a community. It reduces those feelings of loneliness and depression. You have the opportunities to maintain social interaction, which keeps your mind sharp, and it also improves your function. It also can give you access to support systems and resources and assistance that can help you stay home. It also, it gives you more physical ability and mental ability. Staying engaged can maintain your independence and your quality of life. So I put together a list of ways that you can increase your community. If you're currently kind of out of the loop, I know my sister-in-law, her son has left home and she's like, geez, all the soccer games and hockey games and used to keep me in a big community. And now that's all gone now that he's off and on his own. So what do? Well, you first should identify your interests, find out what lights you up. And then discover where there's local events of those things happening. Maybe it's hiking, maybe it's a book club, maybe it's a library, maybe you want to join a club and volunteer. And get part. Volunteering is a great way. There's always volunteer opportunities, even through a senior citizen center or a community center. They're always looking for volunteers. Technology, there's so many Facebook groups you can get involved with, and you can see all the different events that are happening in Facebook as well. It's a great resource to get involved. You can even host a potluck lunch or dinner at your house or host book club. That brings people in if that's easier for you. And then participating in local politics, that might be something that could light you up. And it's such a need. They need volunteers to help to get some really good, strong people in office to provide our communities with what they need. So by taking those steps, you can foster and develop a community that's going to support you. But remember, it sometimes takes time, but the rewards are so worth it. So worth it. So I was just curious, what was the biggest takeaway so far? That's kind of my keys. I have a little bit more to share at the end, but I was just curious if there was any takeaways that you were like, wow, this was something I didn't even think of. Oh, hi, we got a new member here. I have it recorded, so I will send you the recording because you jumped on towards the end, Kathy. I really appreciate you being here. So let's see, does anyone have anything they want to share or something that surprised you about what I talked about? Just curious. And it's okay if you don't have anything you want to share. I respect that too. I see Niles Angel looks like she's typing. Okay, just great information. Okay, thank you. I appreciate your support in answering the question. That's really sweet. I'm going to share my screen. I have a few more things that I want to share with you before we wrap things up. And again, I appreciate your guys' time, the ladies' time so much. I really do. Means a blessing to me. So this is my dear friend, Susan. Susan is such a joy to work with. We were strangers before I worked with her. She was consistent with all my support, and I'm so happy for her because she achieved her goals. She's a retired nurse, and she feels so much more confident and energized. And what the real blessing is her and I have become very dear friends. And it's just a blessing to have her in my life. But to go from a size 8 back to her size 2 when she got married was one of her goals, and to be more active. And she's achieved all that. And she's actually been, we've been working together. It's been almost 3 years, and she's kept it off. It's not my solutions aren't a yo-yo solution. It's a lasting solution. So if you are struggling with premature aging and are feeling older than your age, or simply want to prevent feeling older than your age, if you consistently apply these keys that we talked about today, you will actually start feeling more vibrant and energized. You will improve your quality of sleep, your mental clarity, you'll reduce your inflammation, you lose some weight, increase your energy, and improve your health and longevity, which is amazing to do. So I recommend that, ask yourself, what is in your way of rocking aging with style and confidence? If you're feeling stuck, are you ready to age like a boss? And if you are, I recommend that you schedule a rocking aging breakthrough session with me. It's a complimentary session that I offer because I want to help as many women as possible to stay active and age strong. And healthy aging is a privilege. And my motto is living long, living strong. I want to live to be 100. And I want to take as many women as I can with me as I go. So, I will put in the chat a link to my Rocking Aging Breakthrough session. It's complimentary. And you can copy and paste it, or I'll also send it to you in an email if you don't want to, if you're not in a place that you can do that. And then I'll also put in the chat, and I'll also email it to you, the link to my Rocking Aging checklist. It's a really wonderful little checklist, and you'll be surprised some of the things that I taught today are on it, and there's some new ones on there as well that you can do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to keep yourself on aging healthily, if that's a word. But again, I'd like you to consider claiming your seat for a Rocking Aging Breakthrough session. I have a few spots that I put open on my calendar. During this session, we're going to assess your biggest challenge, and I'll lay out a mini plan. So you'll walk away with some strategy to use. And if it's a fit for us to continue working together, fantastic. I would be committed to helping you create a deeper personalized plan to support you for lifelong habits and living long and living strong. So you can head over to my this link is not going to work if you click on it. So I'm going to put the right one in there. I think that's an old one from when I did this talk. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. If you want more tips, I can also provide those. If you just have some questions, you can feel free to message me in Messenger. And so that's pretty much it. I really look forward to sitting down with anyone who's interested in setting that up. And I want to thank you so much for attending. And yes, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. So what I'm going to do is stop my share, and I'm going to stop the recording. Where's the recording? There we go. Stop.